Okay, so with this lesson, we are moving into learning what a function is. Last week we learned what a relation is. It's just a group of ordered pairs. That's it. Well, now we're going to figure out what's the difference between a relation and a function. So on the first side of the screen, we have relations that are functions. And on the second half, we have relations that are not functions. So we need to look at these tables, and we're going to look for similarities and differences. And eventually, we're going to try to write a definition for what's a function. What is it that's making these tables over here something called a function and not just a relation? So let's just start looking at our inputs and our outputs. So we have 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. 3, 4, 7, 8, and 12. So our inputs, our x values, I notice they're from least to greatest. But other than that, I don't really notice much. So for my outputs, let's see. I have 4, 5, 7, 21, and 45. No real pattern. Then I have 4, 4, 5, 19, 21. So this is different. I notice that an output repeats. I don't know if that's important, but I notice it. So now let's look at our relations, and I'll switch to red for the relations. These are not functions. So I have 3, 4, 7, 7, 9. So I have a repeat here, but this time it's an input that's repeating. And then I have 8, 10, 2, 8, 7. So I have another repeat for an input. And then when I look at my outputs, I have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Nothing really special. 4, 5, 5, 7, 8. So things that are similar, I mean, they have the same number of inputs as outputs. But I think to tell the difference, I want to look at what's different. So what's different is in my relations, which are blue, if you look at my inputs, they're all different. So nothing repeats. But if you look at the relations that are not functions, I have a repeat here and I have a repeat there. And so that's the big idea. If you have a relation or a group of ordered pairs, if it's going to be a function, then your x values cannot repeat. That's the whole idea. Each x has to have a separate y or a unique y. It doesn't matter if the y's repeat, right? So these 4s repeating is fine. These 5 repeating is fine. But if it's going to be a function, then none of your x values can repeat. So that's the big idea. So for this slide, I'm going to let you go ahead and type what you saw that was the same and what was different. And I want to focus on this in this slide, this last slide. Based on your observations, what's the definition of a function? So the big idea was for a relation to be a function, comma, the x values cannot repeat. That's really what we noticed in the tables. You'll have the conjecture, which gives you the real definition, and then we're going to practice.